Hey guys, Fantastic back again. Okay guys, so I thought, what the hell, I'm going to do my own tag video. Everybody's come up with some really great tags, and I thought about time since Fantastic did one. So I hope you like this tag, guys. Yeah, so I've been basically having a think, and I've noticed that in the community there's a hell of a lot of support for Sega, and there's hardly any support for Nintendo. There's a small handful of people, including myself, who love Nintendo. And I don't think it's really right, and it's about time it changed. We need to balance it more, we need more Nintendo fans. But this tag, as you can see, is called the Nintendo versus Sega tag. Controversial, but what the hell. Now basically I've got 5 questions that I want to ask. And the question number 1 is, who do you prefer, Sega or Nintendo? For me, obviously it's going to be Nintendo. Question 2 is, why do you prefer Sega or Nintendo? So the reasons that I prefer Nintendo, my very first games console ever was a Super Nintendo. So obviously that's going to make me slightly biased anyway, because it was my first system. But I've just found that Nintendo systems are consistently good quality. Every time they bring a new one out, even the Wii, they absolutely nail it, and they get it just spot on. And the games are absolutely fantastic. For me, it's like, when I go back and you look at old games, you look at games like Mario, which is just timeless. It's a really fun platformer, great characters, really identifiable. It's just easy to pick up and play. I look at Sonic, and I like Sonic. It's okay, it's a decent game, but I always found with Sonic it was always because it was advertised around the speed. It was like, look how fast the Genesis or the Mega Drive can make this game run. And you sort of like found yourself going like whiz across the level. There was no real time to enjoy the level and enjoy the background and the experience like there is with Mario, where you can just enjoy the whole thing. Sonic, you just like, basically the objective is just get to the end as fast as possible, which I always found kind of crap. I don't know, the point. So for me, Nintendo always better. I mean, you know, the list of games alone. When Street Fighter 2 came out on the Super Nintendo, I pretty much cemented my affiliation with Nintendo, because it was just so good. It was so close to the arcade, and it is still perfect to this day, and I still play it. So it's brilliant. Whereas the Mega Drive Genesis version is nowhere near as good. It's a decent game, but it's just lacking that graphical quality and that beautiful sound. And for me, Nintendo, you know, they really do get the graphics and sound spot on. The Super Nintendo in particular has the most amazing sound chip. So yeah, that's why I prefer Nintendo. Question number 3 is, what's your favourite Sega or Nintendo system? Now for me, it's obviously going to be the Super Nintendo. It's the first system I've owned, as I say, and all of the Nintendo systems I've played, it is by far the best. It's got an amazing catalogue of games. Just, you know, the first couple of games that you get for the system, I think the launch titles were things like, there was obviously Mario World, I think F-Zero, Final Fight. I mean, when I was growing up, those games were just amazing. Final Fight in particular was my favourite on the arcade, so to actually see it on a console was just mind blowing of it, the game in the house and play it. Then you've got Street Fighter 2, you know, you've got Mario All-Stars, Mario Kart, which is just phenomenal, Castlevania 4, Contra 3. You know, there's just so many games that are just fantastic for the system, and I love the sound chip on the Super Nintendo. I think the sound chip is just superb. You play on the Mega Drive, the Genesis, and yeah, the games sound good. There's some really nice soundtracks, so I'm not going to disrespect the system, because you look at games like Golden Axe and Streets of Rage, and they've got absolutely stunning soundtracks. Castle of Illusion is an absolute perfect example. But then you play on the Super Nintendo and you play like the Ghouls and Ghosts soundtrack, the Castlevania 4, Mario World, Mario Kart as well, the Street Fighter 2 soundtrack. They're absolutely fantastic. The digitised speech is far superior to what the Mega Drive Genesis can do. So yeah, the Super Nintendo is by far my favourite. And question number 5 is, do you miss the rivalry? Now what I mean by this is, obviously when we were kids growing up, it was all about, you know, Sega and Nintendo, Nintendo versus Sega, you know, Sega does what Nintendo does, all that really cool media hype, and I love that. I think that's what's missing from gaming nowadays. I think because you've got big corporations like Sony and Microsoft as the main two companies producing games and systems, there isn't that rivalry as much. You know, kids aren't really like bothered, they just buy whatever system they like. There's a little bit of fanboyism, there's a bit like, oh, you know, the 360 sucks or the PS3 sucks, but there's no real, the two companies themselves don't make the effort, and I think that's a real shame, it's a missed opportunity. I miss the rivalry, I miss the adverts in magazines and the adverts on TV. It's a good bit of cheeky fun, and I think they should do that again. If we're really lucky, Sega will bring out a new console. If it ever happens, that would be brilliant, because then we could have Nintendo and Sega again. That would be awesome. So yeah guys, I hope you like the tag. It's just a simple one, and I just thought it would be interesting to find out your points of view. I'm going to tag 3 people, and they are Xbar2708. Sorry mate, I know you get tagged a lot, but you know, I know you'll do this, so it's worth asking you. Sandom Todd, another guy who gets tagged a lot, but great guy, and I know you'll do the tag, because Adam just loves doing tags, so that's cool. And the last one is BlueTonic78. He's not done a tag video yet that I know of. So I thought it'd be great to tag you, mate, and hopefully Alex will give you, something different to do, give you an excuse to make a video as well. So yeah, so thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed the tag, and I'll see you all again soon.